Bank of Ghana urged to exempt indigenous banks from its planned recapitalization in order not to further worsen the plight of these banks already suffering from the financial sector reform and domestic debt exchange program. We'll be telling you more on this bulletin. Welcome. My name is Michael Obodu. Before we bring you our major stories, let's check out what has been happening in the world of business so far.
Today in Business, CEO of FanMilk PLC is urging African leaders to take a critical look at the devastating effects of inflation on the livelihood of families and businesses. Addressing the media at the company's 62nd annual general meeting, Yos Obeitin cautioned against trivializing the dire effects of inflation. For the first time in 4 weeks, government's treasury bills were oversubscribed. The government in last week's auction targeted to raise 2.8 billion cedis from the 91 and 182-day treasury bills, but was able to raise 324.01 million cedis more. Some Ghanaian startups that participated in this year's GTEx Africa in Morocco have advanced partnership talks with investors for possible equities in their respective businesses. For those that were unable to attract investors, the largest all-inclusive tech and startup event on the continent was enough platform to learn the best practices to leverage their innovations. All eyes are on Apple as it is expected to launch a mixed reality headset at its annual Worldwide Developers Conference in California. It would be the technology giant's most significant product release since it unveiled the Apple Watch in 2015. But its expected price tag of about $3,000 might make that a tough sell for consumers.
Thank you for tuning in. Let's bring you our first story now as the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana, COPEC, is calling for a review of some conditionalities introduced in Ghana's International Monetary Fund bailout program. According to the Chamber, the portions relating to the pegging of the levies on petroleum against the dollar, among others, are concerning and could spell doom for the average Ghanaian. This report has the rest of the story. Well, we'll bring you that inset shortly, but then let's move on. And banking consultant Dr. Kujabu Deborah is urging the Bank of Ghana to exempt local banks from its recapitalization plans for the sector in September this year. Speaking to 3 Business, he further proposed the establishment of an equity fund to help sustain the banks from the negative impact of the domestic debt exchange program.
It should not be assumed that everybody. Yes, it is good that everybody should be well capitalized. Consideration should also be given to the local banks. While we are doing this, I would advise that some equity fund should be set up to bail out, as was done in some countries or jurisdictions. Typically, it's Greece, where once it's a national disaster, the government should step in and take some recognitions to this, and therefore bail out the local banks. Because if you don't do that, it will get to a point the whole industry will be taken by the foreign banks. And is that what we are looking for? I don't think shaping and strengthening the whole entire financial sector should not be given to the foreign banks. And therefore, my advice is let us try to separate the strength of each of these institutions in the industry. We should not be assumed that they all have the same, or the shareholders may not have the same strength. And therefore, my advice are 2 things. And I'm recommending that 1, exemptions should be given to the local banks. 2, an equity fund should be set up.
Let's stay with the banking sector as respected economist Kwame Pienim has called for the restoration of licenses of banks whose licenses were revoked for political reasons. This follows assurances by President Mahama to reverse the licenses of banks that were unjustly revoked during the banking sector cleanup. Speaking in an exclusive interview with 3 Business, the renowned economist said it's important to have local successful entrepreneurs playing a role in the banking industry.
Got into banking who should not have gotten into banking. They were not fit and proper individuals to go into banking. and they should not have been allowed because they are no different from armed robbers who come with a mat to rob a bank. What they want is just get a banking license and take deposits from you and from me, and then use the deposits to build real estate for themselves and to finance their companies. Those type of people have to be weeded out. Those who were running serious businesses and thought politically their businesses were run for political reasons, I don't support that. If we can find that out, we should reverse it. Because look, it's good for Ghana that we have successful private entrepreneurs. The more entrepreneurs we have, the more millionaires we have, the better for this economy. And I think that all political parties should endorse and support the growth.
Well, let's now check out how the foreign currencies are trading on the world market. From the forex market now, let's now head to the commodities market and find out how major trading commodities are faring. Well, the price of cocoa is up by 1.02%. It's trading at $3,057 per ton. The price of gold is also up at 0.252%. It's trading at $1,958 per ounce. Crude oil is also up, trading at $77.15 per barrel. It's up by 1.34%. Well, that will be all here on Business Brief. For more business stories, please visit our website, 3news.com. My name is Michael Obodu. Thank you for watching. As always, please stay safe.